an exercise. There are three possibilities.
I have a question. Now the 180 grams is the weight in or weight out?
Okay, this is the weight out, the yield, right? The one that we're going to drink. That is the yield.
But there will be some water will stick in the coffee itself.
Yes, it will stick, but as long as it has a reading, that is the calculation. Yes, there is coffees that is also involved, but to encounter that coffee, I'll show you a technique, a way that will also help you to eliminate and also to remove carbon dioxide that comes with roasting. Right? When coffee is roasted, there's some chemical reactions. One of them is carbon dioxide. So we have a situation or a technique to cater for that. Okay, that's a very good question. Yeah. So I was saying, now we have a formula, we have a structure, like a team of football. We want to play football. We have a formation now, but there are three possibilities that can happen with this formation. Okay, we have the dosage, which we have, right? We have a ratio picked out from there, which we have picked among the two first, for example, and we have and assume the yields that we need to get, right? But something wrong happens, maybe because of grind size, right? So there are three possibilities that can happen. The first, you can have an under extraction, right? Right? You can have an under extraction, which means now based on weight and time, we have everything ready, but we need to we have looked at the weight part, which we were talking about dosage, yield, weight in, weight out. But what about the time? So in manual brewing, play around 2 minutes to 4 minutes. In espresso, 23 to 30 seconds, right? That's where you want to get.
So these 2 to 4 minutes is V60 or Chemex?
Or the filter based.
Filter based.
Yes, manual brewing, you have 2 minutes to 4 minutes to play around. Then you know exactly you are on the right path. Then, right, we can achieve an under extraction, right? Which means, based on time, we know the time now that we are, or we're supposed to do, right? In manual brewing, which we are going through with, between 2 minutes and 4 minutes, our extraction, we should have our yield ready, right, on this other side. But in the event that grind settings or coffee grounds are too wide apart, they're too coarse, water will run fast, right? Water running through fast, then below 2 minutes, we have the yield. So that's an under extraction because based on weight and time, we did not meet the time demands, right? Which means 2 minutes to 4 minutes. So in that way, we have an under extraction, which means we are actually dissolving less solubles than required. We are dissolving less solubles than required, right? Advanced professionals, right? Technically, you are actually dissolving less than 18% of the flavors that you need to dissolve. It's less than 18%. Maybe it's too coarse, like the first one that we did. Water runs through exactly 1 minute, which means you have actually under extracted a lot, right? So the resultant now of that, we have one diagram that I brought with me here. You have flavors of sour, right? Salty or grassy. This is the flavors that you pick at the side of your palate, your tongue. So mostly people say, it's salty, right? So that automatically shows that your extraction time, right, was less. You extracted below time, or coffee was underdeveloped. Remember, right? Yeah. Underdeveloped. You pick some elements of that grassy, right? So you get sour, salty, and grassy, which you detect at the side of your palate, right? So whenever we are doing our sensory, So those are the key areas. Whenever you roast the sample, whenever you brew, maybe the sample is okay. But based on the brewing now, how you're testing your coffee, because maybe you blame the roaster. You've done your good roastery, but maybe in the brewing part now, how you're evaluating your coffee is also taking a major part. Right? So this is one scenario. We have 3 scenarios. The second scenario, you can actually over extract. You can actually over extract, meaning based on time, you have exceeded the required time. Maybe you see your Chemex, your V60, is still extracting 5 minutes, 7 minutes, which means your grind size now is too fine. Water is struggling to go through. The resultant of that, there is no other way. It's going to go to bitterness. Right? This is automatically bitter, meaning how you detect that when you're evaluating a coffee at the back of your tongue when you swallow. Right? When you swallow now, at the back of your tongue, that is where now you detect, this is bitter. So it's a resultant of an over-extracted coffee or dark roast, right? Dark roasted coffee, they roast that. So we'll do also another exercise in the roastery whereby, and this is a typical demonstration of a dark roasted coffee. So whatever has happened, they actually eliminated acidity. Acidity, which we are going to describe what is acidity. And this coffee now has also been burned, right? It's like rubbery, charcoal, tar, carbonic. So it loses all what we describe here as acidity. So still on this, in brewing now, you can achieve this, right? So this, technically, in advanced level, you are actually dissolving more than 22%. More than 22% of the required solubles, right?
The grounds.
Yes. So over extraction, we can actually say is dissolving a lot more solubles than required. This is over extraction. So both of these scenarios, we don't own them either on manual brewing or on espresso based, right? We know now the structure that we are looking for. Best
Excuse me, for espresso, we start to calculate the time.
yes,
The coffee start
Dripping?
dripping, or when
the
you hear the
moment
sound
you
of
set, right? Remember, if you start calculating dripping, let's picture in espresso.